right, Barrel Buddies, episode 26. Let's go. We're going to talk about two of our featured Barrel Select whiskeys and our special custom made Scotch and Spice bitters. We made these with the Napa Valley Distillery. David's going to tell you about the whiskeys, then we're going to tell you about the bitters, and we're going to talk about some cocktails. This is available for our holiday American Whiskey Club, and this is just a gift to our club members, but you can buy all these products online.
Yep. So December club selections, one of which is from Seven Stills Distillery. So they did a collaboration with Bottle Logic. This is a Russian Imperial Stout style beer that was bottled for us at cask strength. So 59.5%.
Which is boozy.
Yes.
Best kind of whiskey for cocktails.
It's hot. But it, yeah, like Jen said, does very, very well in whiskeys. Our second bottle that we have from the Whiskey Club is a Mackenzie independent bottling for us. There we go. That's a single barrel bourbon at 55.2%.
Delicious. 6 years of barrel aging. So that one's nice and tasty.
Yeah. So with the Seven Stills whiskey, the Dark Star November that we have, this has some of that like coconut with it, some like baking spices, and a touch of that like a little creamy, but not as creamy as the Do Good Benevolent Czar that we have also.
Still very chocolatey to me, getting those notes from the roasted malts and the Imperial Stout style like beer that they use. Those tend to be darker if you're not familiar with what an Imperial Stout is. It's like a darker, higher proof kind of stout. So with this particular drink, or whiskey here rather, we decided that we were going to make an old fashioned to really let the characteristics of the whiskey come through, and we're going to use some of our Scotch and Spice bitters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take thank you David, a spoonful of sugar. Usually you use a sugar cube, but we have sugar in the loose on hand and not sugar cubes. So you're going to take the bitters and then just drop a couple of drops onto the sugar itself and add a little touch of soda water to help dissolve. And this is just a fast way to make it in your home. I've bartended before and I wouldn't really do this in a traditional bar, but this gets the job done at the house. Just a splash of the soda to dissolve the sugar and bitters together. And then you would put 2 ounces of the Dark Star. Beautiful. Thanks, David. David's helping me stir. I'll add a little bit of ice in there as well, so you can water it down a little bit to get rid of that 120 proof whiskey. Take a little bit of the kick out, sweeten it up a little bit. Traditionally, old fashions were made because the spirit that they were utilizing had impurities, and it just softens up the spirit. And I noticed with this one, you really get the tones of the beer a lot more. Like, you just get that maltiness and sweetness from the beer coming through a lot more when you use it in an old fashioned. We were kind of playing around with this earlier, and we're deciding between doing a Manhattan and an old fashioned with this, and this wins.
It really does well. It showcases the whiskey itself because you're getting those richer flavors coming through. Totally. Those cocoa nibs, those malty flavors. And then with the bitters that were exclusively made for us, with that Scotch base and those spices, you're really getting a little smoky element and some spiced elements. So it really works really well if you're looking to entertain at home with some a lot of friends and family visiting.
I totally agree.
There
cool.
we go.
So David's going to drink that in a second, or maybe Karen, one of the owners of D&M, will drink it.
Yes.
She loves these. So next we have the Mackenzie. And so what we're going to do with the Mackenzie is a Manhattan. So the portions on a Manhattan are 2/3 whiskey to 1/3 vermouth. But so instead, just to mix it up a little bit, because our Scotch bitters, our Scotch bitters are really spicy, and we want something to kind of smooth over that flavor with a little bit more sugar than a traditional vermouth.
Yeah. We're going to go with Nocino.
Yes, which is Italian walnut liqueur, if you're not familiar. And again, I'm in no ways being super precise about these cocktails, but yeah, 2/3 to 1/3 as far as the ratios go. And then add in a couple drops of these delicious smoky Scotch bitters. Yum. And then here, David.
shake.
No shaking. So for the future reference, you never shake a cocktail that's all spirits. You only shake cocktails when they have citrus in them. So if you're shaking your dirty vodka martini, I guess that's fine. But whatever. Beautiful. So now we'll just strain this into here like so. And the walnut really helps just that smokiness to integrate into this whiskey. This is like a kind of similar to a dark or a black Manhattan. Yum. And so just to finish up, the last little piece to our puzzle here are D&M Scotch bitters. As I said earlier, I went up to Napa Valley Distillery and I hand crushed bitters, like ingredients for the bitters myself. One of the main ingredients in here is black cardamom. You have clove, anise, allspice, nutmeg, cinnamon, gentian. I'm trying to think what else is in there. Oh, black pepper. It's just a really smoky, spicy bitters. And the alcohol that we used to kind of extract all the flavors from those spices was also Scotch. So you get not just smoke from the ingredients, but smoke from the Scotch itself. And this is a uniquely D&M product. And
exclusive to us.
Exclusive to us, and it's available online. We hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays.